history and lore of the Greyhawk campaign setting today, we'll see some actual dates pop up. Now, the Greyhawk calendar is known as the Common Year Calendar, or CY, with one CY being the crowning of Overking in Raxus. But before we get to one CY, we'll have to go all the way back to the start of the Age of Men.
The Age of Men
is just beginning.
The time of the
gamer
has come.
Hello everybody, Jordan here. The PH is silent. For a link to this playhist on Greyhawk, see down below or in the top right corner to learn more. Now, the Age of Men started when gods were worshipped more heavily, who were granting protection from the oppressive aboleths that inhabited ancient Earth. This led to an explosive growth in mortals, which led to more worship and divine power for the gods. Now, it was during this time period that humans and other races created civilizations and learned to use magic. Traveling Grey Elves were exploring the southern area of Earth and met human tribes. They found friendship with the humans and taught them math, language, art, and arcane magic. The humans quickly learned, and soon human towns and cities were created. Now, despite this, though, there were nomadic tribes that still existed over most of Earth. The races of Greyhawk have numerous branches of elves and humans specifically, and not so numerous branches of dwarves, gnomes, and halflings. There are Grey Elves, Drow, High Elves, you get the idea. The elven beginnings are shared a bit with the Forgotten Realms, as much of the stories were kind of retro-adapted from the realms into Greyhawk, such that elves sprang from the blood of Corellon, who is the god of the elves, and the Drow are evil because Lolth took many of them with her after she was banished by Corellon. Now, the elves are not primarily the focus of Greyhawk's history. As you'll see, it is more about the human kingdoms. The calendar of Greyhawk, okay, from the wikis and sources that I could find, starts around negative 14,400 CY. And much like other settings, there is a fairly detailed history of events from then until the current year in Oerth. But some of those events are boring. I mean, the elves develop a calendar, or humans started farming. They're important, but they're not interesting. So my goal is to discover the important points to chat about and how those events might lead to other impactful parts of Greyhawk's history. Also, when I talk about Greyhawk history, the major area we'll be describing is the Flanaess. Now, that is the map in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide and where Castle Greyhawk and the Free City of Greyhawk is located. Although there are more continents and oceans to explore in Oerth, the Flanaess is our central region where most stories take place. It's the Sword Coast of Greyhawk as a campaign setting. Now, we'll start our history lesson with war and magic and how they shaped the known world. So back in the day, two magical empires arose within the Flanaess. In southwest Flanaess, the Sul Imperium fought with the western Baklunish Empire, and a 60-year war occurred between the two empires. Many humanoids fled to central Flanaess as refugees, and in negative 421 CY, the Suel Imperium mages cast
the Invoked Devastation,
which was an incredibly powerful and destructive piece of magic. It blasted the Bakluni cities away, destroying numerous people and their kingdom. The Bakluni countered with their doomsday weapon and drew upon energies in an event known as the Rain of Colorless Fire. This event saw magical energies fall down upon the Sul Imperium and destroyed not only the people and cities, but the ground, the whole area as well. And it all became known as the Sea of Dust, and is inhospitable to this day because of the Bakluni's actions. So the actions of these two mighty kingdoms ended up destroying these two mighty kingdoms. Now, what remained of the Baklunish migrated north to the Dramigi Ocean, and mentioned earlier, the Sul Empire became an ecological disaster of dust and dry ash, choking clouds and wind that can tear the flesh from the bone. So because of this environmental atrocity, it pushed people to live into more central Flanaess. It was easier to push east than it was to try and cross the Sea of Dust. New empires rose and two new kingdoms emerged for supremacy. One called the Erdi in the far east and the Sundi in the southeast. They eventually ruled most of the Flanaess. Now, the common year calendar was created at the crowning of the Overking in Rauxus, which is in CY1. The Great Kingdom of Erde is at this point has pushed all its way over to the City of Greyhawk, located right in the center of the map. And by 254 CY, a few of the cities have broken free from the Great Empire, and by 356 CY, internal feuding separated most of the Erde dynasty into just various city-states. Now, at the same time that was happening in the east, the Kingdom of Keoland was created in the west. The Great Kingdom of Keoland grew and shrank during the same period, but never really extended further into Erdeland. In the middle of these two empires is Greyhawk, which soon became known as the Free City of Greyhawk, not aligning with either kingdom. In 310 CY, the mage Zagig Yaregni bribed his way into a position of power, and in 10 years, he became the Lord Mayor of the City of Greyhawk. Now, Zagig was a blessing for the city. He created a new currency, he fortified walls, he founded a university, he instituted legal reform. He also directed the construction of the nearby Castle Greyhawk. Zagig, or later as he is known, Zagig, disappeared without an heir in 421 CY, and later a ruling oligarchy was put in place and a new Lord Mayor was appointed. But it was soon afterwards that evil rose up in the surrounding lands and the Greyhawk Wars began. And that's where I'll end today. If you're curious about Greyhawk, I'll link some of the resources I used to research this and make this video. You can find some basic information in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, but there are hordes of lore and history in some of the 2 and 3 ebooks, which are available via PDF. I think playing some of the older modules set within Greyhawk and linking them together in a longer campaign could be a really fun way to experience Greyhawk. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.